okay, let's start acting. Let's start acting like
I
it.
agree completely.
Yeah, that those truths like that to where like okay.
And it's so crazy too because I remember a couple of years ago. Well, actually, I didn't get introduced to that concept until I went to college. The person I was dating at the time was a 5%er, and that's like this one of the premises of their beliefs, right? That they're gods. And hearing that come out of somebody's mouth back then, just coming from age, just getting into college and stuff like that, it did not really resonate and it didn't click. And I honestly was like, damn.
I looked at it as an insult at first.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, how could you say that?
Yeah.
But then I'm so glad that he shared that perspective with me because, again, that began to unlock so many other things. And it's crazy because I'm like, we take on our last name from your father, right?
Mm-hmm.
Usually, as humans.
Mm-hmm.
And whether your father was present or not, most times you still take on that last name.
Mm-hmm.
So if I believe I'm a child of God, why can't I take on that name? Like, why do I have to separate myself as if I'm not God? When I do it to my father, you know what I'm saying? Like, I take on, why would I separate myself from my divine father and from my divine lineage if I'm doing it in the physical form? And a lot of times, well, I'm going to just say my dad was absent. So why, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's forever present.
I looked at it as
like, why would I do that?
Facts. I looked at it as DNA. It's like if I'm a child of God, right?
Yes.
I'm from that. If I'm created
then
by
I'm
Him, then I'm that.
Period.
Whether it's just 1%, whether it's just I'm that.
Exactly, I agree. And I mean, I feel like anybody that denies that fact, I think has a little bit more, and I don't know, this could be controversial, but a little bit more growing to do, I feel like, because at this point in my life, it's innate. Like, I'm God, period.
Yeah.
Because I'm a child of God. And
it definitely takes evolution, maturity to look at it in that light.
Yeah, and that's why when I first heard it coming from college, I wasn't myself as I am today back then. So that's why it took me time to like honestly understand where the fuck he was coming from, because I'm like, what the fuck? Like that's not right.
Yeah.
How can you, but no, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
It makes me question like especially with me growing up in the church. Like I was always rebellious to the religion laws.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't wear this during church. You can't come to. Like that's how my church was. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I wore jeans with holes, if I wore these jeans to church on a Sunday, I'll be looked at different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, that's not right. That's not. Why we,
Mm-hmm.
the Bible say, "Come
mm-hmm.
as you are,"
mm-hmm.
right? That's not, but it
But
makes
that's the man-made touch to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It makes me look at like what we're following, what we're listening to, what we're what we taking in, because it's like you be in this bubble. It's like my grandma tell me all the time, like y'all, the way y'all think is just, and I'm like,
I know.
I'm like, okay.
I know. And I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud of our generation. Like, I feel like that's my one prayer for us. Like, to keep questioning, to keep unlearning, to keep rebelling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we do it so well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I haven't
and
seen it done.
Too.
Yeah, I haven't seen it done from another generation. Not
MLK
like
days.
Huh?
MLK.
I mean, but think about it though. Yes, but I feel like even that was kind of like concentrated. I feel like it didn't really impact the whole generation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like now, like you could tell our whole generation is thinking and awakening to, you know what I'm saying, to the matrix and all of the powers that be. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think back then it was as global.
Yeah.
of a thing, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But I mean, it's like with resources now. Like you have cell phones. Like cell phone could, like, it's really a tool to where you could find out everything that you need.
Yeah.
Like the amount of stuff that I Google throughout a day, it's insane, right? It's like it's just at your fingertips. I'm gonna do the intro again because I'm good now. Yes. Welcome back to another episode of Harvest. It's your boy Anthony, aka Tony, aka Hassan, whatever you want to call me. Here I have with me special guests. Friendships for 13 years. First met at the what was the building? It wasn't the Maze building. It was the
Archer building.
The Archer building. Miss Penn class. We was in the choir together.
That was your first year at Maze Archer building?
Wow. Yeah.
That's crazy.
You thought I was there in 9th grade too? You just never saw me. You just popped
That's
up.
That's crazy. I just thought you experienced the old Maze though.
Never experienced the old Maze.
What?
Never experienced the old Maze.
That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, I know we met in Miss 10 class, but that's just crazy. I don't know. Wow. Wow.
But here I have with me the talented, the creative, the elegant Miss Tyler McQuarrie.
Thank you.
What do? Thank you for taking time out, coming on to the Harvest and talking with your boy. You know,
of course,
good vibes, good conversations.
Yeah.
But I know you got into I remember you telling me we had many conversations about it, like just real estate. You passing the real estate exam. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Again, that so you are certified.
Yes, I got my license, and so I'm an official real estate agent. And it's crazy too because I did it at the most insane time in my life too. Like I had just had Bliss. She was 5 months. And I started taking the classes and stuff, which are online, self-paced. And that was even crazy too, like having discipline.
Yeah, you was working too.
Yes, I was working full time.
Yeah, I remember that. You was
having a newborn, doing that. And so I'm just very proud.
Happen.
Yeah, I'm very proud of myself for doing that.
I'm proud of you too.
Thank you.
That's yeah, you did that thing.
Thank you.
You did that thing.
Yeah.
I remember you called me. You was like you passed the test. I was like, sheesh.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah. First try.
First try too. Different. And you went to you know she did. She went to UCal Berkeley. Sheesh. What was your major?
Social welfare.
Social welfare.
Yep, social work. And it's crazy too because I got a degree in that and then graduated and realized the politicking that social workers have to do.
Too much.
I just couldn't get down with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I feel like, that's controversial as well too because I feel like they do serve a purpose, but I wanted my impact to be in a different way. I felt like it was too. Sometimes it's unethical.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're like with real estate that you're making an impact, or that you feel like you can make an impact in that avenue? In what way though?
In a lot of ways. I feel like it's layers to it for me, at least. I feel like there is the layer of helping somebody achieve a certain milestone or a goal in life, right? Whether or not that's home ownership, legacy building, wealth building, or whatever the case may be. But there's one layer to it. And then the layer on top is the self layer to it, like using that as a way to build and generate wealth for my family as well too. And then there's the third layer to it, which is the wellness piece on top of that. And I feel like my approach in general is very different. Like I feel like it's not really about the transaction anymore. It's about the client. If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
And it's like, I feel like, and I think too that that's kind of like always the point of view I want to have in everything I do. Like, I want to find.
You want to be genuine.
Yes. And I want to do something that feels good to me, that's ethical. I was talking about something that wasn't ethical to me. Like, I don't think I would have came home at night and always felt happy with myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have a job like that. But with real estate and the point of view that I'm coming from, I feel very happy with what I'm doing and how I'm trying to do it and go about it.
Got you.
Yeah.
You spoke on that wellness piece. You brought something to my attention that I didn't even think of when it comes to like home ownership and buying homes, or the wellness of the house that you're buying.
Yeah.
Talk about that. So where like because correct me if I'm wrong, but like the non-toxic
like building materials, all of that stuff. So I feel like this was already happening, right? But I think the pandemic, quarantining, being forced to be in your home and reconnect to your home, because I feel like a lot of times too, we're so used to our home being like a place that we like eat and sleep. You know what I'm saying? And like, we use the outside world for like our, day to day, but we just come back to eat and sleep. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like the pandemic shifted that. And it's like, it made us reconnect to our homes in a way where it's like, okay, yeah, I want a home that looks good, that I feel good inviting company over to, but I also want a home that is not silently killing me, especially when I have like so many other things to worry about, like a global pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to come home and feel safe and know that I'm not breathing in toxic air. I'm not breathing in formaldehyde through the floors and the finishes and all the other stuff too. And like, I want to come home where I have like a good source of water. And like, all those different things, I think all of those things play a part into it. And so it's like
the small things that
it's the
people
small
overlook.
things. Yes. And I feel like too, like a lot of times, like our homes are like those breeding grounds for sickness, and we don't even know that. Like, even like your layout of your home too, like having a bed behind the kitchen and your bed being behind a refrigerator, how that can cause like radiation to your brain and, like, you know what I'm saying, make you sick. Like, it's just different things like that I think the pandemic allowed us to think about.
Gotcha.
And slow down and really like care about.
Yeah.
And so I think that, that's what I want to do. I want to not even like push certain things onto my clients, but just like open up their minds and let them know that like there's options. You know what I'm saying? And like, I can meet you wherever those options are, but you have plenty of options. And yeah.
That's real. That's serving others in that way. That's what's up. Do you feel like that's aligned with your purpose?
Yes. And I feel like too, it's so interesting because I feel like people have certain roles in this life. Like, for example, I feel like my sister is the connector. Like, she's that person in our family that's the glue, the mediator. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know her, so you can understand what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that's her role in this life. And I see that outside of this family too. Like, that's how she maneuvers. I don't know. I feel like I'm still unlocking what that particular title is per se, but I know I was like put here to shake some shit up in some type of way. I always have. Middle school, high school, elementary school, adulthood, I always been shaking shit up in some type of way. And I feel like this is just a new path to do so. You know what I'm saying? And like do it in a way that makes me feel good too. Like, so yeah. What was the original question? Would you say was it aligned to my purpose? Yes.
So, like with you, like, cause I want to know, like, how was that? We were talking about unlocking stuff previously, but because like I think the real estate thing, especially with the wellness, is like genius, right? Like I know
really?
I know it's already out there. I know there's a community for it, but I'm talking about like for our community.
Yeah.
In that sense of like teaching that and making that as an awareness.
Because we deserve that too. And we were talking about this, but I feel like health in general or the health movement is so, and I want to be careful with this because I'm matriculating in these particular spaces. You feel me? And it's like I feel like it's washed. Where we get erased a lot of times too. And it's like I feel like a lot of times when you think about health, it's like a way to escape reality, like, or it comes with some type of like exclusivity to it, like Whole Foods, you know, it's superior, it's exclusive, yoga, it's Pilates, you know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff is like, get me up in here too. Like I deserve to be in here too. Center me, make me feel included, like bring it back, you know what I'm saying? And like ground it to where it's something that's accessible for everybody. You feel me? And I feel like that's what I wanted to do. Like that's what I wanted to advocate for. And I'm still trying to find a balance in that because even with like some of the houses too, they're at a certain price point. And it's like that's the price point too that's out of reach. It's out of reach for me. And that's being honest. And so I know that. But at the same time, I'm trying to, and I think that's going to take time as I continue to like build upon it and learn more things, meet new people. But how I continue to include where I come from and what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to go. Like I don't want to be another person that leaves people behind. You feel me? Like I want to, you know what I'm saying, incorporate everybody. And I think that's the whole purpose, and like trying to, bring wellness to us too.
Enlarge that territory.
Yeah, we deserve that. We deserve to live in a healthy home, just like anybody else.
Yeah, that's real.
Especially us.
Hello, somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I talked about it kind of before we started recording, but I had this thing to where, like, I feel like relationships that we build, you have to build foundation, which is the start of building a relationship. You gotta, in order to build anything, you gotta have stable foundation, right? But sometimes when, you know, you hear about these deals, especially with real estate investments, where they buy land and it doesn't seem, it's faulty. Okay, sense, you know what I'm saying? It's unstable ground to build something on, and it's like, oh, damn. It's like you want that investment to be, you want it, what's the word I'm looking for? You want to be able to see a gain for your investment.
You want it to bear fruit.
Yes. Yeah. You want it to bear fruit, but when it don't, it's like, okay. And like no matter how hard you try to build something on this land, on this property, you just can't. You just gotta accept it and just take your L, which is counterintuitive to people. Like, you know, you want a relationship with somebody, you meet somebody, you want a relationship, and it's just like, it's just not working. Like you build a foundation, you start building the house, and then boom, the foundation crumbles. It's like now you got to start over from scratch. But then you have those investments, those properties that you're able to build not only a stable foundation but a large foundation to where like this is mansion quality. This is actually, in a sense, I like to say skyscraper, right? Yeah. You gotta have that for a thing, but that's a huge investment to something that you want your return on. But when you see it built and when you see it actually making progress, just like in relationships, you know, you get rewarded for that. Yeah. You know, and I don't want to say like you're not seeking reward, but it's like you're just seeking the fact that you're able to, both of y'all, like, how can I say it? Bear with me here. I'm gonna flip it to people. Like when people like when you build a good relationship with people, when you that foundation, I feel like 13 years of friendship is a solid foundation.
For sure.
And then like for me, I look at other friendships and relationships I had, and it's like those are solid foundations. So I want to ask you, like, with building foundations, just not in relationships, but also just in life, right? What's your take on that when it comes to foundation actually building, not only for yourself but with somebody?
Yeah, I think for one, that's a very layered topic in general.
Yeah.
And it's a very layered question, and I'm like thinking of so many different things because I don't think there's like one answer. I think that it's situational, just like with real estate too. Like land situational. You know what I'm saying? You could think this is for commercial use or something, like where you're gonna build like a plaza or something like that. But back to your point, it's not the land for that. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. So I feel like it's situational. I think a lot of times too, you can only go so far as people have gone within themselves, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't expect to always bear fruit on investments that, and I don't even want to say weren't good investments, but that don't have long-term positions like in your life, if that makes sense. And I'm saying that thinking about people, like I feel like too, like that whole idea of like meeting people where they are. And it's like a lot of times too, when people don't do inner work, you can only get so far in any type of building. You know what I'm saying? And like when you think about like sorry, I'm trying to like
no, you're good.
Not even filter myself, but just be intentional about what I'm saying. But yeah, I think that's one. The inner self has to be at a level to be receptive and to receive any other type of outside form, right? And then too, I think a lot of times we try to morph people and things, land, buildings into what they're not. And like we get disappointed when the end result is not what we pictured it to be, but it's because we tried to morph it into that idea in the first place. And I feel like a lot of times that goes back to like having land, and it's not meant for what you're trying to make it be, what you're trying to put on it in the first place. And it's just like the level of acceptance that comes with that too. But the discernment of knowing in the first place that you wasn't even supposed to be trying to do that. You feel me? Like, so I don't know. Like I said, I think that's layered. I think it's situational. And me as a person, I just take it case by case, day by day.
Facts. How do you deal with that acceptance though?
That's the inner work. I think that comes into play because it's like at the end of the day, no matter what the outcome is, as long as it feels good to me, and in turn, it feels good to God, that's the only thing, that's really important. And like, I can't worry about nothing else besides that. And I think that gives me the acceptance, that alone, because it's like if it feels good to me, and if I think it feels good to me, and what I'm doing, I hope feels good to God too, then that's gonna give me the peace of mind right there. And I feel like, of course, what feels good is subjective, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But hopefully that feels good is coming from a place of purity and good intention. You know what I'm saying? Like or at least that's how I'm coming from. Now I can't speak for nobody else, But you know what I'm saying? If I know that I came from a good place and that my heart was pure, then that's enough to make me feel good about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I don't know. That makes sense. But,
No, that makes sense. It was just like with me, like that acceptance. I had to get to that point.
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
growth. That's a journey.
I just have to accept it for how nothing. Like it's like I can't change it. It's not in my power to change. You know, as much as I want, let's say, analogy wise, as much as I want this building to be on this type of land, I can see the building. You know, you can see it. You could. This is what it might be, but if the land's not right, I can't.
Yeah.
That's out of my control. Yeah. And that's why I had to realize that acceptance come in. Like it's out of my control. I can't. I'm not. Yeah, I'm a form of God, but I'm not God.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't.
Yeah.
So it's like that part. I see a lot of people try hard to not accept it. It's like they see it. You know, you can see it, be like, but no, I'm gonna try to, you know.
And even with that too, I feel like when you don't accept something, whatever that something is, you block your point of view. Because when, like, back to the real estate analogy, maybe you can't build a mansion here, but if you look to the back, you feel me?
Yeah.
And accept that you can't build it here. So now you can actually look to the back. You realize, oh, this is a better spot anyway. You know what I'm saying? If I build it over here, the sun is to the east, my house is gonna be getting all this natural lighting anyway. You feel me? I'm gonna be shined on anyway. Like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes too, you gotta accept the no. And sometimes maybe no is not even no. Maybe no is just like not right here. Maybe it's not right now. Or maybe, you know what I'm saying, it's not yet. Yeah. But yeah, I think I don't know, you know? I don't know.
No, that's real. That's
sometimes you just gotta open up your peripheral.
See the bigger picture.
Yeah, you know.
See the bigger
picture. See what's around you and not look so straightforward, but just see what's around. Yeah.
Not look straightforward. Just see.
Just look.
Just look. It's there.
I needed to hear that.
You said you was You said you feel like you're in the desert now, of the process of just getting through the process, like, you know.
Getting through the process, and that could be relative too, because I'm still relatively great. I'm healthy, have a beautiful family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still am, I'm feeling great. But am I where I desire to be exactly? No, right? And getting there is kind of straining.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I don't know. Because I'm like, damn, do I want to declare this phase of my life a desert? Do I want to speak that over my life too? But, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it's the desert. But
yeah, but I get what you're saying,
you know,
though. It's just like, you know.
Embracing just the hard moments, the challenges too. Yeah.
What's the best part about the challenges?
My reason why. Because it is so much bigger than me now. And I think that I appreciate that. And I thank God for expanding my reason why. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I think that's the most beautiful part. I look at my reason why every day. I see her, I love on her, like, and I really just think that was where my life needed to go. I needed to take the focus off self. I needed to expand my love outward. And so yeah, so I think that's the most beautiful part for me. And that could change, of course, but for right now, yeah, my reason why.
Shout out to Bliss, aka Baby Girl.
Yes, shout out to her.
Shout out to her. Gotta show her love. Say her love.
I could say so many things about Bliss. But yeah, she's so great. She is so great, and I just appreciate it. Because like I said too, I feel, and I'm trying to get in the habit of not saying I feel like and just saying what the fuck it is. Feel. But
yeah,
like why I need to preface that like that. But I believe that we experience different lives in this one life, right? And I feel like those different lives fall into larger, bigger phases of life. And I feel like my first phase of life, and this could look different for everybody, but childhood, that's my first phase of life, and now I'm in adulthood. But I feel like my first phase of life was great. It was smooth. It was easy. Not even easy. It wasn't easy, but it was very blessed. And even though adulthood is very blessed, it's on a different spectrum. Like it's not as easy. It's not the same. It's not the same thing as my first phase, and I feel like that's on purpose. And I feel like it's nothing but God expanding me and growing me in the way that I needed to grow. And I think too that adulthood is so hard because my childhood was so the opposite. And I think that that's okay.
I feel you on that. I had some revelations of myself because it's like my childhood was smooth too, and I was told to stay in the child place, and that's what I did. Until adulthood hit, and it's like, oh, now niggas time to grow up now. And it's like, well, you didn't tell me this when I was. You didn't tell me I had this coming up. You didn't tell me I had to face these problems and situations as an adult because you always told me to stay in the child place, and that's what I did. Like I feel like that guidance right there alone kind of what hindered me in a way, but like I also know that everything happens for a reason.
Sure.
Like you can get caught up in what went wrong. It's easy to fall in that rabbit hole, but once you realize like, okay, maybe it was for a reason. Your life could be totally different if it wasn't. But I realized that too. Like, okay, having to realize a lot of, and it's like, damn, like, especially when you have friends that like they were aware of that at an earlier age.
Childhood for them maybe not have been so smooth or whatever that word is for you. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. Having to realize, okay, my mom never taught me how to manage money like that for real. So as an adult, it's like you get caught in a habit, but it's like when you want better for yourself and you want to actually achieve things and actually you like what's the word? The drive is to do better. And when you realize it's like, oh, okay, I actually have to learn how to do this because I wasn't taught by people ahead of me. And it's like not to blame them. They can only do what they could,
Or they can only do what they knew how to do.
Exactly. So it's like, I feel you on that with that childhood being this way and adulthood being this way, different.
Yeah.
Jeez. Because like I get called spoiled. I don't think I'm spoiled. I just think I'm blessed. I'm blessed with a nice village that support and love me.
Yes. And it didn't really click to me too, like how much of a privilege that is to be able to say that, because I'm thinking about it too as a parent now, right? And like what I want to instill in my daughter and the type of ways I want her to view herself and how all of that, starts from home, right? And it's crazy because like growing up as a kid, you would, go to school and it'll be tension for no reason because somebody don't really like who you are as a person. And I didn't understand back then that a lot of times that came from them not having a village. Like
a lot of people envy if they see that you have someone you can count on or have people in your circle. They envy that because they never experienced it. They never had that.
Yes, and it's crazy because that also sticks with people too as they grow up and they become adults. But yeah, it's really a privilege, and I really just thank God that I was born into the family that I was born into because I came from a lineage of strong Black matriarchs, and that shaped me and molded me in a way that like low-key made me invincible as a child growing up. And like it's just really a blessing to be able to say that too, because I feel like a lot of times we hear like, oh, okay, you could be anything you want to be when you grow up, you know, like we instill that in kids and whatever like that. But like I really came from a family that literally not even did they believe that about me, but they showed me that they believed that about me. And like that's literally how I moved through the world. Like I could be and do anything. Like that's how I was in school. Like it was just that love, that support, that foundation. A lot of people didn't have that. A lot of kids did not have that type of family.
Yeah, it's people out here, and it makes you kind of like empathetic too in a way. So like you realize a lot of people didn't grow up. A lot of people still to this day, they might be adults, but they don't even know what love feels like. They don't even know what it looks like. You know, that's when I realized I was like, oh, like this is truly a blessing to be able to experience this type of love, because a lot of people out here haven't experienced love, haven't experienced support, and it's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, and then it's like too, when you know that about certain people, it just allows you to back to that acceptance piece. Like I may not agree with how you move through the world, but I can see you and I accept you because
it's not your fault.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, being a parent too now, it's just important to me that like I provide her with that same type of foundation and love and support, you know? And like, yeah.
That's real. Yeah. Once I realized that, I was like, okay, let me actually be grateful. Let me actually like take this in, because this is something that you like you said, you see it. A lot of people envy you off of, because it's like you have this and I want it. Like I never know what that felt like. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay.
And a lot of times too, they don't even know. Like I feel like too, being at certain ages, you don't even know what it is or why you don't even care for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't even know that it's that. And you don't really get that perspective until you grow up and realize.
But it's that inner work, though.
Yeah. Like
you gotta do that inner work in order to like unlock those truths and those like, okay, this is why I'm okay, all right, let me, it takes those moments to like really come with self and just be like, okay, I have zero control. Like one in this book that I read, Reality Unveiled, it basically said your soul picked this life for a reason and for a purpose in order to gain a lesson. Like your soul picked this life.
Okay, wait. Let me take it deeper than that too. Deeper. Because the book I read, the Celestine Prophecy, Celestine, I don't know, Celestine, whatever. But it talks about not only do you pick this life for a purpose, but you're answering your life's question. Like your life is about answering whatever your life's question is, right? And your life's question is the sum of your parents' question that they didn't find the answer to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how those two equations come together to make your question. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy to really think about that, because I definitely believe that we pick our parents, we pick our families,
pick everything.
We pick our souls, we pick our lives, our vessels for a purpose and a reason. And when you start to like unlock your mom's life and unlock your dad's life, and like learn your family history,
which is
learn,
key.
you know, the things that made them, and then you start to notice them in you and apply that to you and what it is you're facing. It just all makes sense.
All makes sense.
I like it.
Yeah, all makes sense. No, that's because I remember telling my grandma, I was like, you know, but not even just my grandma, but just like your older like aunts, grandmas, mom, parents, like they were somebody before you came into this world. Yes. And I feel like it's key to know who that person really is in order for you know what I'm saying? Because like it's a part of you. It's a part of who you are. You are like you said about Bliss, she was a reflection of you. I am a reflection of my mom and dad. Now with my mom, you know, me and my mom, we done had them conversations, we done had them talks. Now I'm battling with finding out my dad because I see patterns to where like I'm realizing patterns within myself, and I'm like, this ain't nothing but my dad.
Yes,
and it's like, in order to overcome that, I have to sit down and have this. I have to do something.
Yes, you can't unlock those parts of you until you unlock the parts of your daddy. And I be trying to get on the same page with my daddy about the same thing for the same reason.
Yeah.
And it's difficult.
So it's like,
Dad, if you ever listening,
man, I don't even know if my dad watches this. I realize I'm my mama's child.
Yes.
I am Keisha's son.
Yes. Yes.
Like, yeah. And it's like certain things I can't identify, and I'd be like, oh, that's my daddy right there. I am my daddy's son at some points in my life to where like, now in order to like figure this, I gotta sit down and have that conversation.
Necessary.
We had that conversation about reckless, so like me just, you know, but you gave me a jewel that I stand by now. I go to in times of like where I'm in my head too much, like just be in your own creative world. That helped me a bunch.
Yeah.
Just being like just be in your own creative world. Just do what you know.
Yeah.
But like you say, it's like, boy, when that pressure hits, when people have expectations for your work.
I know.
Look, you help elevate that, because it wasn't until you did you came up with the colorway with the tan sweatsuit. I just, hey, look, the tan sweatsuits were her idea. Okay, this is who created the tan sweatsuits. Boy, every time that tan, that brown, ooh, they want it.
Yeah,
they want it, and like ever since like that whole, even that creative process right there, that was
that's fun. Yeah, it was free too. I feel like it was only fun because it was free, and like it was a space where you didn't have to worry about the expectations. We was really just like doing what we like. In
your mama's basement, just
that's the basis. Like, well, what do I like? I'll wear this.
Yeah.
So, you know, and people who like it and that thing too, like that's what I was telling you, but also telling myself, like, don't worry about none of that other stuff that comes after you release it. Just create for you. And like at the end of the day, your people are gonna find you regardless. Whoever's supposed to be your people, they're gonna find you regardless, and like they're gonna like what it is that you put out because they're your people. And that could be people you don't know, you know what I'm saying? But like,
yeah,
whatever that means or whatever fashion that you're creating in, like, but yeah, like I'm trying to apply the same thing and tell myself that as well too, because even with the wellness real estate, like that shit. And it's not shit. I'm sorry. I'm trying to also be professional and
I've been trying to work on my cousin.
Yeah, very intentional too about what it is.
What you say, yeah.
Yes, and I don't want it to manifest as shit in my life. I want it to be a professional career, so I'm not gonna say shit.
Facts.
But that whole business practice is like different, because when I'm looking at realtors on my timeline and stuff, I'm like, dang, like, am I putting out information people even care about? Like, like, is this even landing how I want it to land? And it's like, I can't think about that, because at the end of the day, it's what I care about, and whoever is meant to receive it will receive it. They'll find me regardless. Like, I cannot worry about none of the other stuff that comes with that. Like,
Yes.
And that will cripple you to the point where you just get in a space of not doing anything.
And that's where it led to. That's where it led to for me. I was like, yo.
Me too. I just started getting active.
Yeah.
I was like at a point where I wasn't even showing up. Like,
and I was like, oh no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like, folks ask me, you do work? I don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about something else.
Yeah.
How the Falcons play, like, but when you told me that, I was like, okay. So now it's like getting back into that. It's like, oh no, we're gonna do what Anthony likes.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do what you want them to like,
or what you think is gonna sell.
Bingo. Because I had voices in my head, voices in my ear saying, like, you need to do this because you're making money. Like, this is what you. And I tell them, I'm like, first off, I didn't even start doing it because of money. I just like to do it. I did it for the enjoyment of like, this is what I truly love to do. Now that Reckless has a purpose, has a message pushed behind it, now it's like I'm more concerned about the message rather than about the like. Yeah, I know I could. I know I could if I wanna. I know I can run it up. Okay, cool. But it's like I had to get to that space to where like be free and just be. Like, I'm learning that not just in the creative space, but just in life of just being me.
Yeah.
Like it or leave it. I got into that. Like, I feel like it took time, but it's like, nah, this is, if I want to say something, I'm gonna say it. This is how I'm gonna be. This is how I'm gonna react. Like, why I gotta put on? Like, but I was always like, even going back to the childhood to adulthood, like, you hear them. I'll never forget, my grandma got mad at me because I wore tennis shoes to church on Easter Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Based on the thought of what someone else may perceive of me.
Right.
That's like, what? Like,
that's beyond me.
The facts. But also leaning on my mom. My mom also raised me to be like, in the words of Keisha, quote unquote, fuck them people. But it was like, even then, like, I don't know, it's just crazy because I realized like my mom was teaching me so much more and I didn't see it at that time.
Same for me.
I was like, I appreciate you now though. I see what you did.
See what you were doing there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. And I'm grateful too that me and my mama got to a space in our relationship where
I love your mom. Your mom, I gotta see her.
I love my mama too, and it's crazy because I just appreciate her so much for who she is. Like, growing up, it was intense.
Oh yeah, I was.
She has a very intense personality, and in a lot of ways, I do too. But only like in intimate spaces. I think I got to be comfortable in order, you know what I'm saying, to let it out. She don't give a fuck. Period. You know what I'm saying? Teresa go Teresa wherever she is. And that, I had to grow to appreciate that, but also too, like, the way she parented, like, I'm still coming to grasp and coming to healing moments with how she parented, but a lot of it I do appreciate, and a lot of it I'm very, 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 very grateful for. And like when you just said, like, talking about your mom, like, I see what you did there. Like, I see what my mom was trying to do.
Yeah.
And like, I just thank her, because without my mama, there is no me. Like, literally. And I'm not gonna say that too, because I actually had really good, present, and strong grandparents too, who definitely impacted my life.
Yeah.
But still, like, yeah, no, my mama, she that one for sure. And it took me some time to understand that and appreciate that about her.
Shout out to mama.
Yes.
We love you, mama.
Yes, we love you. Yes. And
no,
it's
real.
Crazy. That's crazy. Real.
Sheesh.
I know, yeah.
High school, I'm reflecting back on the high school days.
I often do too.
That was
bittersweet for me.
Same. Same. Like, if I knew what I knew now back in high school, boy, I'll be the principal.
Really? I think it's the opposite.
For real?
I think if I was today how I was in high school, I would be the principal today.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that as in, I'm trying to get back to that self in a lot of ways, because I feel like adulthood took me so far away from that fearless,
that child that was so innocent, that was so free, that was didn't know what the world would perceive of them, or just being who they are.
Yes, and just being who they were, and like, honestly, not caring if you liked it or not. Like, I feel like my high school self, I really missed her, most of her, because there were also areas, of course, where I needed to grow in, and be better and develop. But the core of her, like, I miss her. I feel like adulthood hid parts of myself away from me. Like, it dimmed certain parts of my spirits.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn.
Yeah, but that happens.
Trying to get back to her.
That's the key. Getting back to, boy, man, let me tell you. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to that little boy that will be in the living room playing football with himself on Sundays in the Falcons helmet with the Falcons jersey.
Hello.
And I had my football pants on with my pants in them.
Hello.
Had a full game. That imagination. Boy, well, I had an imagination son when I was 6. He was my son.
Really?
Swear to God, boy.
Oh, that's wild.
I'll be like, you need to tell him, I'll be in my head, and he put shoes on, let's go. Yep. Yeah,
that's crazy. So
that's one thing I do appreciate. As a kid, I was given the space
to be you.
To be, I was never told, boy, if you don't sit your ass down, you know.
Me either.
I was never told that. Like, just like a kid now, and I can't say my kid because I don't have one, but just any kid now, if I would see running around playing football, bro, if you don't, but it's just, I was given that space to be who I am. Imagination going tenfold.
Yes.
Like,
yes, same. And I'm so grateful for that. I am so grateful for that. Like, literally, I think about this shit all the time. Like, I used to be on one. Like, always dancing, always somewhere singing, always putting on a fashion show. Like, I was one of those kids that would model their new clothes. Like, make up songs, perform in front of my grandparents.
Man, what?
Me and my granddaddy had a whole singing group together, the T-Bones. Tip and Tyler, okay?
Talk to him. Yeah.
And, like, people to really just, like, support your creativity in that way, like, that is unmatched.
Man, I was Michael Jackson.
I could perform how I did in school because my home life, I had that love.
Yeah. No, real. So it's like at my house when I grew up in Riverdale, it was like the living room was carpet and the kitchen was tile. So it was like, it was no door to the living room. It was open. So I would treat the carpet as the stage, and my grandma would be in the kitchen. Man, boy, I was Michael Jackson. I was just that.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, and that show too. I mean, you were in chorus.
Chorus.
Okay, not ashamed of it either.
Was not ashamed of it.
You know, and I feel like
holding it down at the concerts, the seasonal concerts, the Christmas concerts.
Yes. And it's just, it's great. It's beautiful ball.
That chorus class was funny. Okay. I had a ball in there. Miss Penn, shout out.
Shout out Miss Penn. Shout out to everybody in chorus. Man, what? Because it wasn't just the nerdies or whatever you want to call them. We had a great fucking time in chorus. Hey man, everybody was in there.
Shout out to Khadijah. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. She gave me laughs in there, boy. She gave me laughs in
that. Yeah, us three was hella close. This kid class, that was good. That was good times for sure.
Nah, real. That was fun. But just getting back to that inner child, being free, being who I was put on this earth to be.
Yeah.
And not letting the don't let the world conform you. Conformity is a drug. Conformity is a drug, and a lot of people take it because they don't want to fully embrace who they are. Because with that comes a lot of revelations. It gets scary.
Yeah, to really, for sure.
To do that work, to look in that mirror and be like, "This is who I truly am." Ooh.
Yeah.
No, I'm good with just just being the accountant for a so and so company. Just not really tapping in. But yeah, conformity is a drug. Don't take drug. Don't use drugs. That's what they should. That's what they should have in schools. Conformity is a drug. I think I'm gonna start that. Conformity is a drug.
And isn't that crazy too? How you have programs like DARE that talk about real quote unquote drugs, but like the true drugs of life. No label, no warning, no like prevention, no rehabilitation. Like nobody teaches you how to non-conform or bounce back from conforming or how to unlearn. Or like,
that unlearning. Oh my God.
There's no programs for that.
It's not. That's what I'm saying. It shows like what we really like, what our community is really taking in as like people, to where like who's teaching you this stuff? Like no one's teaching you how to unlearn your habits that you have over 20 plus years.
Yeah.
That takes a. I feel like that's more beneficial than goddamn calculus. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I haven't used AP calculus, Mr. Schultz. I cheated the whole way. I kid you not. I was not. Wasn't doing it.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I love Mr. Schultz's class.
Oh, I couldn't get with
them derivatives.
See.
Anti-derivative.
Yep. No. What the fuck is this? That's what's going on my mind. Battery low. It's done. Okay.
Oh no.
But I mean, we could talk for hours.
Yeah, no.
We could talk. Hey, look. We gonna we doing the season 3 of The Harvest is coming.
Okay, sure.
Not till next year. I'm not the type of person that doesn't mind having reoccurring guests.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on, that man. We can talk.
I would love to.
For sure. But look, I appreciate you. Oh, dang. I appreciate you for taking time, coming on here on The Harvest, where we harvest empowering conversations. One last question though.
Okay.
So like I said, harvest empowering conversations, being the harvest, we like to bring fruit to the people. Like words of wisdom. First thing that comes to your head. That's one thing I also learned. Like just when I think of something, just like either say it or just act on it. That's another thing, but I don't want to. That's a whole another thing, man. We'll talk about that off camera.
So, never stray away from consulting God in everything you do. And to not only pray, but to have conversations with God. I think in doing that, your whole life will change. Period. That's my jam. Consult. Talk to God.
That's real. And I want to add on that, like we were saying, like we are gods, right? God could be yourself. Consult and talk to yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Have conversations with yourself. I feel like those are key too. But no, I appreciate you for taking time out to come on The Harvest. Thank you again. Time of prayer, everyone.
Thanks for having me.